We're live with Otto's fake dad.
Hello. Welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode number 411. You're gonna get the real 411 in this episode, dog.
Well, you're really with it with the hip lingo that the kids are all
I
using
am.
these days. Yeah.
I got my ears to the street, my friend. I'm with it. I'm hip.
Street.
No cap.
Hello, fellow kids.
No cap, bruh. I don't know. You can't take me anywhere. Anyway, we have 0 watchers, so it's appropriate.
No watchers. Nobody.
No lurkers yet. Well, they'll come around. We got one. All right. So here we go. Everybody, I'm Otto. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Tonight, I'm joined with Jared Schneiderman.
Hey, guys.
Bab. Why is everyone one? Everyone's like one word now. There's Bab. Everybody say hi, Bab.
Alex is
Great to be with you.
Oh yeah. And there's K-Wags
Hey, everybody.
and Ray Epps Capital Tours.
What's going on, everybody?
Stormini Capital
Rowdy tours.
Yep. A
Rowdy.
lot of unguided tours. We're gonna go into the building and shit on Pelosi's desk, and that's it.
I'm gonna fart under her desk. Yes.
Yep.
They didn't
All
do
right.
that. They just took the podium, right? Or her
I
leg.
thought someone shitting her out. Who knows? Who cares? Fuck.
I
them.
think they just
They
put.
deserve
their
Are you
feet
saying
up on
someone
her
left
desk.
it like a steamer on her desk? Now, I think we would have heard about that.
No,
I thought
no,
it
I think
did.
Yeah.
No, I think
Oh.
It
It's
was
just
a
fan
missed
fiction.
opportunity.
I'm just writing fan
Yeah.
fiction over
Well,
here.
Well, let's just say that it's
Jerked
that
off
there's
in
an
her front
opportunity
desk.
going forward if anybody's listening and interested.
She picks up the pens and they're all sticking together.
yeah. If I'm facing 5 years in prison, I would at least would have had a good story. You know that.
Dude, if you,
Yeah, but then
you
you
were
get charged
facing
with
5
like
years-
What did you do in Pelosi's coat closet? You know, like imagine just telling people that in prison would be.
Yeah, but
worth
if you shat on her
Right.
desk, you're getting charged with like chemical warfare, like
Right,
bioweapons possession, like
yeah.
5 years.
Indecent
You just showed up.
exposure.
You showed up to DC that day.
anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Who knows what? You know,
Lots of anti-Semitism.
some kind of a
you could
hate
get more than
crime.
5.
Dude, it's
I
crazy
think
when you hear about some of these charges, but it's just like, are you fucking serious? They're just trying to make an example out of it.
How long is the Q shaman? How long is he booked for?
Like 5
He's
years.
in solitary right now. From what
Did
I
he
He's in
even get a trial?
solitary.
I don't
so.
think so.
no.
I think he took a
There's-
plea.
Yeah.
Did he?
I
So
don't know.
he's-
That's the thing. You don't hear about any of this. You just hear this like fake kangaroo court that's going on.
Well, he probably ratted somebody out.
Could be.
I don't know. I
Probably
wouldn't
like,
assume
who
that. I mean,
organized
that's kind
this?
of. I mean, did you? I want to see Jason Rink's documentary. Q sent me. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Yeah.
they wouldn't allow it to be shown at Freedom Fest because
That was a different documentary.
Oh,
about
okay.
About some white supremacist.
old
There's a lot of Q
Fuentes.
documentaries out there.
Anyway, well, he's let's just say Jason is doing a good job of being sort of reporting on sort of that alt-right component out there, the Trump, whatever you call that stuff. But anyway, that doesn't mean that Jason agrees with any of that stuff. Jason's a super cool dude. So anyway, I look forward to seeing his documentary.
Yeah, it should be good.
Good. No, I haven't heard about it, but that's something to check out because there's like so much shit just goes through the cracks, and even like libertarians or people who are skeptic of the media, you'll hear things that never got down to you because it got so much filtered out through the media, and you kind of start repeating the narratives of the state just by happenstance.
Wait, are you saying like
know?
even the memes haven't caught up with some of this shit?
Yeah, for real.
We've got a meme lag.
There is a
We need
meme
to,
lag.
let's you know what, let's work on that. I think let's rally our best meme warriors and try to close that gap. Like
Yeah,
for sure.
I like that.
So what
Hey,
happened
what's
this week,
up,
guys?
fellas?
Everybody good this week?
Alex, you have to tell us about did you tell us about your vacay?
yeah,
Not really. I checked in real quick, but
yeah, we could barely hear you though, so that
I
doesn't
know.
count.
It was.
yeah, thanks,
It was.
thanks for giving us the update though. That we were all jealous and just glad to see you kicking ass, having fun, like just
Yeah.
living the dream. So
Dude, it was a blast. I recommend going to Jamaica sometime if you guys get an
What kind of
opportunity.
stuff did you do there?
Well, it was my girlfriend's cousin and fiance went last year, so they recommended this resort, and it was couples only. There was definitely some couples that were trying to swing hard for the fences, and we're just like, no, we're good.
Davey Parrish with you. Did Davey Parrish come down there in Jamaica?
Dude, there's this one lady, she was trying hard, and her husband, and it's like,
not happening.
Yeah.
Well, did you get outside the resort? And
we did. We hiked.
Country?
We took a bus trip. It was like about a 40 minute drive, and it was because where we were staying was in Ocho Rios, so it was about almost 2 hours on the north side of the island from Montego Bay. But yeah, it was just really cool. It's called Dunn's Rivers Falls, and it was basically about a mile long fall that empties into the ocean. They have a whole beach area. And it was on a Saturday, so it was kind of cool seeing like what the locals get into, having like just out and about, and like there was a whole like kids like water park, and you could go hiking up the falls and hiking up these rocks, and they had these tour guides that that's all they do all day is just climb this waterfall and give us some tips. We'll film it. Here's an overpriced tourist video. We didn't pay for that. We're like,
cool. How'd you get around? So you just like did excursions from the resort, or did you?
They had a bus.
Or
yep, you just sign up down at the like desk. Like, hey, do you want to go out and do this? You want to do that? And then it's outside of the resort, but they provide the transportation. So you just like throw the driver, a tip. We went out on this catamaran cruise. It was nice. It was about 4 hours out on the catamaran. It was nice. Booze cruise. Ooh. They were just making up all this rum punch, and we were like jungle juice. I don't know what the fuck it was. We were just.
How many people tried to sell you weed throughout the week?
Everybody. That's the thing. Everybody in the resort works in the resort, but their side hustle is selling weed, and
even
everybody,
the water sport guys, the boat guys, the cab guys.
Like this resort was all inclusive, so they had everything. They had like a whole water sport. Like you could go out scuba diving. You could go out. They had like these all different types of water sport boats. They had a bike boat. They had
what's the name of the resort?
It was called Couples Resort. It was Towers at Ocho Rios. But
it's a very original name there.
Yeah,
sounds like the kind of place like monkeypox could break out.
Possibly. But it was.
So are you pox free, dude?
I'm pox free. I'm COVID free.
Did you wear a butt mask just to be on the safe side?
I double masked.
How was the room? Was it like just a hotel or what?
Oh yeah, dude, it was gorgeous, man. We had like where I chimed in on the podcast, we had a patio out back that overlooked this garden. They had parrots in the garden. Like you could go check them out. There was this caretaker that was taking care of these parrots every day.
Nice.
And yeah, it was chill, man. There was like stray cats. I was feeding cats one night, coming up to our like
code?
patio. What's that?
Is that code? Like wink, wink.
Yeah.
Stray cats.
But
some Jamaican booty.
But yeah, everybody was smoking. Like everybody at the resort just comes up to you and like, hey man, you good? You good? Once you get in, like how long?
You
it's like I can't
So
buy
like
any more weed.
So on the resort, they're walking around selling it.
Well, they work there. They're like, hey, I'm bartending, but I also sell weed. You good, man? Like, I mean,
is it legal? Is marijuana legal there?
Apparently, as of like 2-3 years ago, it was legal completely. But up until then, it was only legal if you were Rastafarian, because that's in their religion.
Yeah.
So, but for everybody else, it was I guess illegal.
I mean, you've got a beard. Is that close enough?
Right.
Yeah.
But it was But yeah, everybody
Rastafarian Jew.
Right. But yeah, everybody was approaching you with weed that worked at the resort. Because I talked to my my girlfriend's cousin. He's like, dude, don't even bother trying to bring like a vape pen in or anything. Like, just as soon as you get there, everybody's selling, so don't worry about it. And
was it good shit though?
It was all right.
Yeah, but then you just have to smoke whatever's there. Like, you still want to bring your own like good shit, right? I mean,
right. I mean, I was
drinking
the whole time too. So
you'd be the first person to like, yeah, what'd you get busted for? Yeah, smuggling weed. Where? Really? Where? Like Jamaica? Really? You tried to smuggle weed out of Jamaica? No.
Into
Smuggle
Japan.
weed into Jamaica.
You gotta be careful transporting it. I mean, when you go through BWI now, they have the dogs, the drug
Oh,
sniffing
yeah,
They're not.
dogs.
Yeah,
they're not.
following
They're not
it.
drug sniffing dogs though. They're bomb sniffing dogs.
Bombs.
It's
yeah.
it's cash sniffing dogs and gold sniffing dogs and Bitcoin sniffing dogs. They
Let's
don't
be
give a crap
honest.
about your weed.
Those dogs can sniff anything, and as soon as they I don't know, piss on your luggage, they can search it because the dog did something.
Well-
Let's be honest. They're so yeah. They had when we landed, there were so many Fed boys on the tarmac. Like while we were waiting to get off the plane, there was Homeland Security, there was the transport, the BWI cops or whatever they are, the Transportation Police, Port Authority or whatever they're called in Maryland. Those road pirates that are at the bottom of every bridge and by the tunnels and
Mhm.
everything, on all the highways and toll routes, just waiting to ruin your day. There was a bunch of there was a whole bunch of them. The girlfriend just tapped on the window and she's like, "Oh, Alex, look out there." And I just counted. There was probably about 10 of them out there just waiting for all the baggage. So yeah, so it's not just wait till you get there. Everybody's selling weed. Everybody is a weed dealer in Jamaica. So you'll be all right.
That's awesome. Last time
Yeah.
I was there like 25 years ago. It was a long time ago, but I bet you
wow.
it hasn't changed. That
Bob
much
Marley
in
was
this
still
case.
alive.
No, unfortunately, no. I did go to the Bob Marley Museum. Did you go to Kingston?
No, that was a little too far. It was probably that would have been about a 2-hour drive because we were on the north side of the island and Kingston's on the south side. So that would have been a little bit of a hike. We were only there for 5 days. I recommend give it a good week down there because by the time we settled in, we're just like, oh damn, we got to go back already. So
I
But-
remember the
Whether-
city being sketchy as hell, man. Like I was glad, we had an escort when we were there, like a driver that would just kind of walk around with us, and we just take him everywhere. As long as we had our escort, nobody bothered us, right? But it's a white couple, unattended, is
Yeah.
fresh meat to these people.
Well, I work with a Jamaican girl, and she tells me all the time, we don't mess with the white people because there are tourists, and they said if anyone messes with a white or any tourist from anything at all, the police will come and take them away. And
but
beat the
it's just
shit out of
really
the fucking
aggressive,
tourists.
obnoxious marketing of stupid.
Oh, okay.
trinkets
Oh,
Yeah,
100%,
yeah, yeah,
100%.
that, yeah.
in your face.
yeah.
Trying to just really not a good vibe, right?
I mean, you appreciate the hustle on the resort, but they all have jobs. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, I got a good job. But when we went to that falls area, they walked us through this area of the park where you had all these, everybody selling their trinkets and food and everything, but everybody's selling the trinkets and everything. We're all trying to put it in your hand. And Tara's cousin was like, dude, don't do it. If you even take it in your hand, they'll try to haggle you and say you bought it. You fucking
Right.
bought it.
It's like the homeless people that give you the stickers.
Yeah. Yeah. When we went on that cruise, it was in this little marina area, and there was a huge dock for a cruise ship that was sitting there. So when we walked through there, everybody was trying to haggle too. But you just got to keep it moving. But
I found it
thing
out in the
is-
country though, it was a much better vibe. Up in the mountains and stuff. Everybody was super chilled.
yeah,
We went to this place way up in the mountains where these Rastas were roasting coffee over a fire by hand in the
Nice.
cinder block
Yeah.
building with roosters running around. So you go into this place, there's Rastas are roasting the coffee, and you get to pull up at this coffee bar.
Exactly.
And,
Joe.
And you get some of the freshly made roasted coffee, and they mix it with condensed milk. You get a little condensed milk to go with it.
nice.
I mean, it's pretty sweet living up there.
Yeah, Joe said the squeegee kids in Baltimore, but yeah, it's true. It was funny when we were taking the bus when we first got there and landed, and we're driving out because we were kind of out in the country. It was kind of that same vibe, Bab. There was goats, there was chickens just free ranging. We were kind of out there, but yeah, there weren't squeegee kids. They were fruit boys. They're just trying to sell you fruit, knocking on the windows when traffic was dying
Although,
down.
if you get those tree ripened bananas, man, that is so awesome. Did you get any of the
any
super fresh
fruit that you get
produce
out there.
Dude, everything was so good. The food was just banging down there. Everything was so fresh. Fruit was amazing. But yeah, it was more out in the country where we were. So it definitely, what it reminded me of? Jamaica reminds me of Pennsylvania, but with palm trees and a beautiful beach, clear water. It was just I don't know. It's beautiful out there. So
How are
highly
the roads?
recommend it.
And better tunes, though. You know,
Better tunes. How are the
No,
roads?
not to disrespect our Pennsylvania Dutch Amish and their traditional folk songs, but okay.
Kyle's like, how's the roads? The roads were surprisingly, they weren't bad, but the drivers were sketchy. It's all on the left side because former British colony, so everything was.
Yeah, I
they're
never
driving
drove over
on the
there.
up.
We always went with the driver. I remember this one roundabout, and I'm using the word roundabout generously. It was basically like 3 roads coming together in like perfect angles, like to the center point, and right in the middle was actually like a manhole, and like a dude was in there, right?
Directing.
But no, he was just like seemed to be working in there for something. But meanwhile, all the traffic comes in at high speeds. It's not really a roundabout. It's just a point, right? Like a self-organized traffic pattern, right? Like it's like, all right, I'm glad I'm not driving.
Yeah, but it was cool though. I really liked it. I enjoyed everybody's hustler and entrepreneurial spirit there. Definitely see it.
You got to respect that. Like, I'm surprised I guess their government is really fucked up, because with that kind of like salesmanship and drive, like you think they would have like all the internet business in the world should be run out of Jamaica. Like they're such good marketeers and salespeople.
And tourism is their number one industry. And then the second industry I found out was bauxite mining, which is made in manufacturing aluminum.
There
Go
you go.
figure. That's it. But yeah, there was like a couple big ships, like kind of like you see in Baltimore, where we're like loading the rocks. So I guess mining is like their second, bauxite mining. But I was unaware of that.
They need to step up the reggae business. Okay, like I feel like reggae should be like at least number 2. Like I know bauxite's important, but come on, guys.
But anyways, that was Jamaica.
Dude, let's hear about Robbie the Fire and his porch show that you guys were at.
Oh yeah, I was the lone person there. So
Otto didn't go?
No, I couldn't
he was
go.
on-
My wife was on vacation, so I was with the kids all this weekend.
They don't like comedy?
Not that type of comedy.
Whatever, dude.
It was cool. We could save it. Yeah, we could save that for the after hours.
Ooh, okay.
Let's save that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Patreon.com/punk rock libertarians.
Little tease.
$3 a month.
Speaking of
yeah.
after hours, remember I promised to tell you the story about the concert that triggered a structural collapse.
Oh, yeah, I have a note here for that.
All right, making notes. Noted down for the after hours. So yeah, the Robbie the Fire thing was cool, but we'll save that for later. It was a good time. Good turnout too.
Well,
so what happened in Clown World this week?
shit.
Fauci resigned.
Yeah, allegedly.
Well, I didn't
Let's
see
be
any.
around.
I didn't see anything, but I just saw like a suggested headline from like USA Today or something. It was a video, and it started like, it was almost like a state funeral. The way it was like, was served so many presidents, and he's did this, and he was the number one this and that. I'm like, why isn't it saying like, the guy who tortured beagles, like shrouded in scandal, who funded gain of function research in Wuhan, like possibly responsible for the worst pandemic like the world has ever seen. Like everybody seems to be stroking him on the way out. So is that the case?
So you were expecting the truth? Yeah, they don't.
Wouldn't it be nice if he was like, this was like a humiliating? I mean, he's so old. You can't say like he's retiring too early.
Don't they need to Don't they need to scapegoat somebody? Like, why not scapegoat that guy? He's
the
leaving
question
the regime.
is, like, will he go right to work for Pfizer, or is he going to just like go right to Epstein's Island permanently?
They just built a new house for him on there.
Yeah, is he going to become a citizen of another country that doesn't have extradition to the United States, like pedophile Tom Hanks did, going to like Greece?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shouldn't that guy be considered for charges for starting this whole pandemic thing? And
if
not
there
to
was
mention
such thing as a justice
the
system.
response. I mean, why is there no justice in the world? I mean, zero.
Has that all been proven?
Well, the gain of function research was proven.
Yeah.
I mean, like oh, we just happen to be trying to make this take this type
I guess
this
it's hard to like
coronavirus
directly
and make it
connect
more
though, right?
susceptible, make it more deadly to humans. And then
I guess
oops,
it's
it
hard-
happened to come out in the same town we were doing this bioweapon research.
Yeah.
I'd say most people are unaware of that. I've never heard of that.
I think it's at least worthy of an investigation. That's all I'm saying. Like,
You would
really,
think
we're
so.
going to investigate. They're raiding Trump for, or like going through his wife's wardrobe, but nobody
James.
cares about Epstein Island.
Dude, you need to
Epstein's
calm
client
down.
list.
All right. The Republicans are about to take control, and the Republicans are going to investigate. They're going to prosecute him. They're going to bring freedom back. That's what the Republicans are going to do.
They're putting Hillary,
kind of
they're
like the
putting
way
Hillary
Obama.
in jail.
Remember the way
Hillary
Obama
in
like
jail!
went after those torturers? Right. You remember he was like, yeah, we're going to get those Abu Ghraib people,
Yeah.
those torturers, and
And
the
he
people that
did,
lied us
right?
into war in Iraq, and we're going to get them.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
expect much come November.
I'm still waiting for Obama to close Gitmo. Remember when he campaigned on that?
Right.
Come on,
Yeah,
Obama.
we gotta keep it open to send all
Wait,
these
didn't-
individuals.
All
I
joking
would send
aside,
Fauci there.
didn't
I
they-
would keep Gitmo open, but it would have one. It would be Fauci, maybe Bill Gates.
Let's build our Gitmo list. Like,
Yeah,
let's
get my list.
let's do a prison swap at Gitmo. Let's start.
I'm
No.
willing to take every prisoner at Gitmo and just say, look, here are the keys to the White House. I'm sorry. Have at it. Like,
I don't know. It has not. It is still open. Gitmo is
No, I'm
still
saying,
open.
but weren't they talking about closing it, or like there's a deadline for it to be closed or something? I thought. Kyle, you're shaking your head. Do you,
No,
do
I
you
don't
know
believe
anything about
so.
that?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that
what-
was
what are your
Obama's
people
thing.
doing?
Was he was going to close it? Yeah.
I thought that was something of recent. I heard that they were going to close it, but I don't remember.
I think there's
I really
people
doubt
still
it.
rotting away there due to like getting like snitched on for some bullshit.
They fucking
during
had a
that,
guy there.
like early.
Wasn't there a guy there for
war
like
on
10
terror.
years? He was dead for like 10 years, and it was the wrong guy. They literally captured the wrong guy who had like the same name, but it was like the wrong guy, and everyone knew he was the wrong guy, but they couldn't
As
get
if
him.
there's a right guy to indefinitely
Right, yeah.
detain without charges.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, they literally picked
all
up like
the
a
wrong
taxi
guy.
driver or something. It's just like, wait
They're
a minute.
all the wrong guy. It was a
Yeah,
great
I'm-
way to get rid of your enemies. Oh, that guy he's hitting on my girlfriend. I'm gonna go snitch on him. Like
I don't mean to laugh, but like that's just the level of competency that you should expect when you're dealing with the federal government.
this is
in
the
any
freaking
way,
deep state
capacity.
though that seems to be calling
Yeah.
the shots with the United States government. I mean, the FBI is completely out of control. As this sort of political police, federal police, political, like, I mean, is this like, could it be more Gestapo like secret police doing like political hits?
Have they brought any charges against Trump yet?
They're waiting.
Oh, they're
They're
waiting.
waiting.
Right.
They gotta make sure he doesn't run for president. They gotta do everything
Yeah.
they can to make sure that.
I highly recommend everybody to listen to I listened to Michael Malice today, and he had Robert Barnes, who's I guess he came on and discussed the FBI raid and also the Alex Jones trial, but he's a constitutional and civil rights lawyer, and I guess he had him on before and kind of walked him through the Rittenhouse trial. But I was really impressed just listening to it today, and it's just, dude, what's going on with the Alex Jones trial and what this FBI raid? It's just.
Michael Malice interview.
Yeah, it's really good. This attorney that he had on, just kind of breaking down the FBI raid and just how many anomalies there are, how like the judge who ordered it, the magistrate, the way it works with like federal, they basically fish. So all these departments try to find, like, so the FBI was like, what judge would sign off on this? And this judge has ties to like Epstein. He was the
Yeah,
one
exactly.
he
They don't
wouldn't
even
allow-
try to hide this shit anymore. They
Dude,
don't even care. They
this
don't even
fucking
try to
judge-
hide their tracks.
Yeah, so the feds can go to any judge where they're gonna find the guy. They're gonna, like, who would sign off on this shit? Like,
It's
who's
going to be a generation or two before like all the Epstein judges die out. You know what I mean? There's
Right.
always going to be one that's Epstein affiliated they can
Well,
go to.
This judge cleared him in like 2004 or 5 when he was facing, going back.
Yeah, the
then.
first time he got arrested.
The first time he got arrested for what for Jesus Christ. I mean, we live in clown world, but it just he broke it down just how the judge wrote off on this warrant.
Aren't these the same people, a lot of the same people that did the Russiagate hoax?
100%. So then they bring in that. So,
and let's just remember that the Russiagate hoax was an intentional ploy by the deep state to subvert democracy, the greatest threat to democracy. These bastards literally took it upon themselves to intervene and to deny one particular shithead the throne. I don't care who, how I feel about the role, but there's no denying that these people, they took a bow for it. They stood up and said, we did it. We interfered and we protected,
You nailed it. That's what's going on. I think it goes back to that. And then also with this recent election, and they were trying to get after information that he had that has all the dirt on the FBI and this whole past 4 or 5 years. It wasn't looking, they were just trying to find whatever he might have of documents showing these the corruption. So that's what this ultimately is about. So definitely recommend listening to that episode with this attorney.
Oh, I want to check that out. So maybe you can post the link or something.
Yeah, let me find it. And I'll post.
Remember, these are the people that were these some of the same experts that told us that Hunter Biden's laptop had all the earmarks of Russian propaganda?
Disinformation, okay, not just propaganda.
Yeah, disinformation. Seriously, and people are still looking at these guys as some kind of credible figures. I mean, what were we just talking about the anniversary of earlier? The Ruby Ridge anniversary?
Yeah. That was today, I believe, or yesterday.
At what time period was the FBI not involved in the most horrible, nastiest, murderous, most racist, most corrupt political crap?
I mean, they were found guilty of, being a part of Martin Luther King's death. Assassination. They were found.
Yeah, they tried to get him to commit suicide, through a weird blackmail plot. It's there's no time period where they're not just the scum villains of the story.
So when people say, "Oh, make America great again" or reform, just need to reform it. No, reform is a lie. It was never good. It shouldn't exist. It never should have existed.
Right. So now the right, the Trump people are saying defund the FBI. Is that abolish the FBI? Let's not use this defund language. That seems sketchy. How about this? Fire those bastards. I mean, immediately.
But no, wait. No. Because who's Kyle going to serve coffee to and coffee cake if the FBI is defunded?
Kyle, do you want to weigh in on defense of the FBI here on behalf of your people?
I do like to play devil's advocate sometimes, but I'm not a big people anarchists think, oh, I'm always going to defend the government, but they are doing sketchy things. I'm not going to take their side. I watch a lot of crime shows, and sometimes they get called in on stuff that crosses state lines, or a fugitive or something goes across multiple states and they're trying to track somebody. So there are real villains out there, but they tend to be petty criminals. I don't really see them doing anything to take down any big fish.
Well, they did plot to assassinate the governor of Michigan.
Yeah,
that's kind of I call that a big fish.
Yeah, so that was an entrapment situation, right?
I totally forgot about that. So look at all this dirt that was going on that Trump probably has, privilege to, or these documents of all this bullshit. So they're trying to go after, raid Mar-a-Lago while he's not there to try to cover their ass. That's what I think this is about.
I think it's just to make him unelectable.
That too. I think there's so many angles.
Cycle. Yeah, because they know that he's going to beat any Republican, and he's definitely going to beat Joe Biden, if given the chance. That creep, the big guy, pedo Pete. This guy has no critics in public right now, right? An actual critic to him that gets media attention is just, they can't stand the idea. So they're just They're just doing everything they normally do to keep that from happening. Probably going to work.
I was waiting for more information to come out, like why the raid happened, what did they find, but so far I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard that they found anything. Maybe they did.
Well, have we heard from? Do we know which script writer they hired for this miniseries?
Right.
No, I mean that's the other thing. He's such a big political fish that it's like, this could all be political. It could all be trying to,
could be,
discredit him for the 2024 election. I mean, at that level, you just don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. It's like not told to us.
No,
There's
I think we do
all
at this
Jan
point.
6, this like kangaroo court that's going on, and Liz Cheney, and this. It's just political theater.
Hilarious. I mean, tragic,
point, we
but
know.
Hilarious.
At this point, we know the FBI has nothing on Donald Trump, because as soon as he got the investigator on him, we're like, oh my God, we're gonna find out any day now that he had ties to Russia and he was a Russian asset this entire time. Like that was the consensus of like the media, and it lingered on for 2 years and nothing happened. And eventually it was like, yeah, we don't have anything.
What did he actually get? What did he actually get impeached for?
Holding up the arms deal, quid pro quo.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
He slowed up some weapons to a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then he got impeached a second time. I don't even fucking know. Who cares? Like, fuck him. Like, fuck him, fuck them, fuck them all. But no, so this is the same thing. If he had something in his safe that was so incredibly awful, A, they would have known that he took it within a month after him leaving office. And B, they wouldn't have waited almost 2 years to do it. They're only doing this.
What were they doing in Melania's bedroom? With her underwear. That's what I feel like. Listen, somebody needs to answer for that.
Yeah.
Were there national secrets like in her panty drawer? Like,
hey man, that's the Hoover. Like that's the J. Edgar Hoover special right there. Taking some clothes, taking some panties and shit like that.
The FBI panty raid.
Fucking
what the hell?
I think it. You know what? I think that was just part of their sort of just sort of power demonstration, just sort of flaunting, just a flex to be like, we're gonna even go through your wife's underwear drawer. Like that's
speaking
just
of 3-letter agencies. I don't want to get out of here without talking about the new IRS training video.
Can we see some of those images or some of that video from
Send
that
me
training
hold on, let me dig up the memes.
Oh God!
My God!
I found a smorgasbord of memes.
Yeah, let me get those. I got them.
That guy in a wheelchair pointing a gun at an unarmed person in the back. Like it's so awful. Like
in the training video,
so tragic and
terrible. So if you haven't seen the training videos, so they go in and they're showing examples of what they would arrest people for. And one of the trainees says he's demonstrating how he would arrest somebody. He goes, "You're under arrest for conspiracy."
The meme we're looking at says, "Who would win?" On the left, it says an entire IRS death squad. It's got the dude in the wheelchair with the taser or fake gun,
plus a bunch of like housewives behind him.
Yeah, and then it says
they're
one
wearing
soggy
I
boy.
guess what would be body armor if they had plates in it. I'm not sure what they're actually, or they're just hunting vests, or I'm not sure what they're wearing. But the way they all hide behind the guy in the wheelchair is pretty cool too. Like use that guy for cover.
Yeah.
And then
look at the smile on his face. He's just so happy to be
the original photo. Like there's a guy with his back to him, isn't it? Isn't he like pointing at it like some unarmed guy with like at his back?
Yeah.
Like,
because he well in the video. Here's the video. They're like, there's a different one, but they're like, oh, you're under arrest for like having a truck that you didn't tell us about.
Yeah, that was the thing. They sold this. So they sold this to us as they're going after people for $400,000 or more a year. They're trying to get as much money from all these people hiding taxable funds. But in the demonstration, what they're showing these people, what we would arrest someone for, it was of a lawn service guy who bought a second truck.
They blurted out. It's not a secret conspiracy. They just tell you the whole plot.
Well, yeah, they're like,
every supervillain has to do that. Okay. If you've watched any James Bond film, you know that at a certain point the villain will tell James Bond every evil detail. Okay. Here it is.
Right. And then
They can't
meanwhile,
just do it.
the cover story is that, oh, we're going to go and we're going to tax Jeff Bezos and we're going to make him pay his fair share. Meanwhile, they're going after like the poor immigrant guy that like is starting a
89,000
lawn
new-
service with
new
like
death
one old,
squad.
yeah, the guy has like 2 pickup trucks from like 1995 and he only claimed one of them. Like, this is a real
Yeah,
criminal. Come on, dude.
Crouch
God damn.
behind the wheelchair, dude. Jesus.
Oh man.
But I like the way the way how inclusive their death squad is. You got to give them credit for that.
Right.
They didn't have any women of color.
Oh, there
well,
was in some of
wait,
the other
hold on.
videos.
Bring it back up.
That one looks
Ooh,
kind of maybe.
well, no, I'd say you're right. But the
No,
dude
they're a
has
bunch of
a
honkies.
tint.
The dude,
Yes.
yeah, the dude's definitely Indian or
Yes.
something.
Whoa,
He's BIPOC.
whoa.
And then 4 women.
They're
4
like,
women
let's just
hiding behind.
Let's just
the
get
guy
the
in the
Indian guy in the
wheelchair.
wheelchair to just cover all of our bases.
Yeah.
Right.
I would
That's
totally
the-
be hiding behind that dude as well. Like
He
I'm
checks
clearly,
off a
like,
Yeah, he
He's more
clearly has
diversity
stuff
hire.
on.
They're using the crippled kid as like a human shield.
It's like in South Park, Operation, Human Shield or whatever. The movie, the first South Park movie.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that's fucked
it's
up.
the ultimate in woke taxation enforcement.
It's a lot
I
more
mean,
agents.
it sounded really bad when they're like, they're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents, but then you saw the docs and you're like, okay, I think we'll be all right.
They like must be willing to use lethal force. Like those job
But
descriptions
they
are no
deleted
joke.
that. They deleted that.
They did.
Yeah, after it went public or it went
Yeah.
viral, they took
Yeah.
that. They deleted that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember, but just remember all the other stories about how many rounds of ammo they bought or how many shotguns. And I mean, come on, these guys have an arsenal like that would probably, listen, guys, I just want to put it out there. Go get these jobs, people. If you're like, if they don't know who you are, go in there and get the jobs, get the keys to that arsenal, get in there, get it.
Didn't
Get
the
all those
Department of
rounds.
Ed buy like 500,000 rounds of like?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
or
I'm
something?
sorry.
NASA
This is for
has a
entertainment
SWAT team.
purposes, but we can get back to this on the after hours,
Ooh.
specifically at the Fed informant level.
Patreon.com/punk rock libertarians.
Yeah.
PRLfans.com. Find out other ways to donate to the show.
For as little as
But yeah.
$500 a month, you can get access to the Fed level.
Right.
But seriously, I mean, they're probably going to hire, the IRS is going to hire people probably the same way that the TSA did. Okay. TSA, what did they do? They advertised on pizza boxes, and they got these fat pieces of shit with delusions of grandeur and little petty power trips.
Oh, you want to hear
God, I
something?
could
I
be
got a
exact
TSA
same
story.
people, right?
Don't talk about
I got
stuff
a
like
TS
that.
I got a TSA
Anyway,
story, dude. No.
these are
Hold
gonna-
on, let me real quick. Side
Okay, go
note,
ahead.
this story. My wife just got back from South Carolina. She flew down to South Carolina. Her friend bought her. She bought 2 tickets with her Southwest app. They flew down went down, no issue. They got down to South Carolina. On the way back up, TSA said, your name doesn't match the name on the boarding pass. You're not allowed to be on this plane. And they wouldn't let my wife through security. My wife had to physically buy another plane ticket.
What was wrong? What did it say on the plane
name
ticket?
say?
It said her friend's name. Her friend's name was on the ticket, not her name. Because even though her friend bought 2 tickets, and they let her go through security from Baltimore to South Carolina, but not from South Carolina to Baltimore. So she had to buy at like 5 a.m. She had to buy another plane ticket, a $200 plane ticket, just to come back.
You know what? I would call the credit card and just say that, you know what? That's extortion.
That was a
That's
fraudulent
coercion.
charge.
Just
Right,
say, you know what? I was
charge
under
it back.
duress, and that is not a valid contract when you're under duress like that.
For real. Like that's
fucked up.
Yeah, I was fucking pissed.
Dude, I tried to block that. I blocked the whole TSA experience out from the trip to Jamaica, but I try to. I mean, granted,
Would you say it made you crazy?
Dad.
Well, now
dad
what
making you crazy?
did you use a strategy, or did you get scanned, or did you go for the feel up, or did you do the dual rotator
I had no
cuff
choice.
as
I totally
method?
forgot. Yeah, I blocked this portion of the trip out. But going,
So it was like a violation.
yeah, I was coerced. Leaving Baltimore, so going through TSA. One, I posted in the Mises chat, and they have this huge board where they're showing the line and delay times, and very Orwellian, something out of a dystopian movie. And you had the whole kind of, I don't know who the fuck who cares? Nobody would know, but it's such a like status shrine going through the TSA. They had a big screen TV with the whoever the department head of the Homeland Security giving, if you see something, say something, giving a whole like, and thanks for, and
spiel,
dear customers, we work hard here at the TSA to ensure your safety, like a whole propaganda video. And it's just like, oh God, like, and
awful.
Granted, when I paid to park, so I just took the biggest hit on my vape pen because I'm like, I got to be high as shit to go through this TSA because I'm going to lose my shit. Like, I got to be like mellow as fuck, just kind of just skirting through here just because, dude, my anxiety going through that shit.
All right, well, what strategy
They had no
did
choice.
you use?
They
Did
had
they
no
scan
choice.
you?
They
Did
said,
scan
you have to. I said, no, I want to go through like the scanner. And they said, no, you got to go to like the full body, arms up, don't shoot. And I was like, I do not want to go through that.
You forgot the dual rotator cuff method.
Dual rotator cuff?
Yeah, just so everybody knows, okay. What you do is you say, you tell the, like, if you can't do this physically, raise your arms, then they can't do the scan.
Gotcha.
So you say, well, hi, I'm sorry, I was told to tell you that due to old football injury, I can't lift my arms higher than this.
Yeah, that 5 touchdown
like,
game against Nim High.
Right. No. So anyway,
that's a good strategy.
I did it a couple times successfully. I don't fly very often though, but I did it and it worked several times. And I found out that they don't have to give you a punitive pat down either. Okay.
They just send you through the regular detector.
You get the magnetometer and a hand swab. Okay. Now, knowing you, of course, Alex, make sure you don't have any residual compounds on your skin. Okay. If you use this method. Okay.
That's a good strategy, Babs. I like it.
But yeah, know about the swab though, because that might be relevant depending on, just your lifestyle.
How recent
the last
was
time
this,
I
though?
went,
was this
what's
recent, Babs? Was this recent?
Within like, I think maybe 5 years and 8 years. So, hey, it could always be different.
It's always changing. So Jared, what was your experience? Like, I mean, dude,
the last time I went through, I usually just go through the hands up, dick out, whatever.
Dick out.
but the last time I went through, I guess, and my guess is because they didn't have like a female working there, but they let all of the women go through like the regular metal detector. They were like, all right, all women through the metal detector, like just the regular, like going to the stadium, like metal detector.
So they didn't have any like female TSA agents to do the friskings or whatnot.
I think that's what it was.
Or to do the gazing at their naked bodies when the scanner.
When I went to Reno coming from BWI, and I know I'm setting myself up for a joke here, but they didn't make me go through anything. They were just like, go through the metal detector. And I was like, okay. And they just like, go through. And it went off, like the metal detector went off, but no one said anything to me. And I was like, and I just looked around and I said, well, I'm not waiting for you. So I just went ahead.
Right. Like,
it's like when you're at the supermarket and it goes off. You're not like sitting there like, waiting for the cashier to come up to you.
But the thing is that they were sending other people to the, the thing where, the full X-ray, hands up, don't shoot, They were sending everyone through that, but like they were like, okay, yeah, like I don't know. They were just like, you go through this.
Well, I've seen it where there's like two lines, but then they kind of decide, like, okay, you go this way, you go that way. But with the dual rotator cuff, it means now. One time, they started to give me the pat down.
That's the name of the podcast,
right?
Dual rotator cuff. I love it.
They started to give me the pat down, right? And then the one guy says to the other guy, he goes, "Whoa, wait a minute. This is a medical opt-out. It wasn't like a voluntary thing, so we don't have to do the pat-down," confirming that it was punitive, okay? If you say, oh, I opt out of the scanner, you get the punitive pat-down, and that's when they grab your balls. Like they literally, they go up the side of your leg until they, quote-unquote, meet resistance, and that resistance is your balls.
But if you have a medical opt-out, there's no way that you're smuggling anything dangerous onto the plane, right?
Well,
it
doesn't really matter. The point is, and they discussed it amongst themselves. So we're like, okay, so we don't have to do it. And then they were just kind of like hanging around, and then I just left. And
that's what I did too. I just walked away.
Did they wave you though? Did they do the?
I guess they must have, but I guess at some point they told me I could go, but I really don't.
It's
want
all
to fly.
arbitrary.
I can't stand
sometimes.
I can't stand the whole thing. That's why, like,
Yeah.
now I drive with my camper, and like literally, I'd rather drive across the country than fly there.
Same here. That's why I opted to drive to Reno, even though that was insane.
But you can't drive to
Yeah.
Jamaica.
You can't.
Unfortunately, yeah, you can't. I'm going to Hawaii too, and that would be a tough drive. So.
Yeah, that's a long boat ride. That's a long way to swim. Or
Yeah.
Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. It seems so far away.
dude, that's gonna be
Yeah.
nice, man. You could get like all the boogaloo, like official luau.
Oh yeah, dude.
Shirts.
I'm coming back with just a whole new wardrobe, man.
Hell yeah.
My friend texted me this week and he said, "What's wrong with the TSA? What do you have against the TSA?"
He's
And
like,
I'm like,
you see the guy that just started. What's the meme? The guy that just started figuring things out.
no, he's just he's a non-political friend, and he just sees them as like the friendly blue shirt security people. And I was like,
Well-
I mean, they you see like these friendly security people, and I see the Gestapo, right? I'm
Dude,
like, these people are patting you down. They're invading your privacy. They're throwing away your 3-ounce toothpaste, and they're
Right, you
sniffing
never know what
with
to fucking
dogs.
pack.
I mean,
Yeah.
They're
it's
stealing
such
your
a-
iPads, your jewelries. They're
Right.
looking for Indian tourists specifically to target for theft. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them have been arrested for theft. 0 terrorists have been caught. They fail all the tests when they try to get actual weapons and shit through. The tests are awful, so there's no security benefit of any kind. It's a theft of property. It's an invasion of privacy, and
But it's a
what's good about it?
well,
it's a boondoggle for the security state.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, it's a $10 billion budget or whatever they've got. And then, the government created the situation that has caused this extra security to be needed, because they bombed the Middle East. Right.
Dude, I
So
used to
they pissed off so many people that,
But it's security theater. It's not even security. It's just to
Yeah.
make people feel inconvenienced enough to think they're security.
And all
Yeah,
those,
Meanwhile,
I
there's
did
an
say, I
employee
said-
entrance around the back that nobody even checks IDs.
it's a false sense of
it's
security.
it's all to inconvenience you, right? In the public, and then behind the scenes, nobody gives a shit.
no.
Well, yeah, it's very annoying, and I explained that to him. I was like, yeah, I can't stand it, and
And then there's the part where they touch your balls. Okay.
yeah,
The one time before I did the rotator cuff, they were giving me the pat down, and I said, "Look, I had gone to Ernie Hancock's conference to do a presentation, and I had to fly. I didn't want to, but I flew, and they were giving me the pat down, and I said, if you touch my balls, I'm going to call the police." And like, what, do we need to get a supervisor in here? I said, I don't know, but if you touch my balls, I'm calling the police. And I just started saying it louder and louder. Like, if you touch my balls, I'm going to call the cops.
That's the thing. It's as
That's
nobody
you know what,
remembers.
now my next door neighbor just heard me say that. They don't know I'm doing a stupid podcast.
Oh,
Sorry.
man.
Are they coming over? Are you going to get arrested again for the second time live on air? Are you going to have a police interaction live on the podcast?
No, I don't think so. But I have a new neighbor over there I haven't met yet, and it'd be a funny way to introduce myself. But
That's
Can you
funny.
imagine having James as your neighbor? Like that's the most base shit ever.
Hello, neighbor. But like, who's the Wilson? Like Babs
Yeah.
being your Wilson, or
Mhm.
coming by the fence line giving life advice.
Hello, Mr. Bab.
Oh man. But yeah, but that's the thing, going through the line of the TSA, there was a couple older individuals that I could tell were just frustrated. And that's the thing. Like I remember flying without the TSA and looking around at a
I
couple
remember
people that are
flying
like,
before you had to take your shoes off.
yeah.
Like,
and
I was
that's
pissed off before
Yeah.
the TSA when you had to take your belt off or whatever, and like go through like what, like where's the search warrant? Where's the search warrant?
There's a
You know,
whole
like-
generation that just thinks this is just normal. And it's just going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
normalized even,
Well, yeah, when Shannon went to Charleston for her bachelorette party, she got like the pat down. Even though she went through the thing, she still got the pat down. And then like she was like
They
complaining
do that to
to
attractive women.
I know. and she was complaining to her other friend that was with her on the bachelorette party. And her friend was like, "Oh, well, they're just doing that to keep you safe. Like, don't get so mad." And I was
Yeah,
like,
when
she
they
had to tell
grab
me about that. I was
your
like,
labia, that's to
Right.
keep you safe.
Yeah.
right.
What
I was
happened to
like, yeah,
believe
well-
all women? Like, I was assaulted by a government agent. Believe all women.
Exactly. Yeah, I told her it's
The
just
gymnastics
people are
go
sheep, man.
through.
People are sheep.
But you know what? People have to go through these gymnastics. Otherwise, they have to accept the fact that they're tolerating that kind of violation, right?
Yeah.
Like, then you have to be like, yeah, I was just violated as well, right? And some people just can't handle that.
Well, it's also just the kind of like the bystander effect, where it's like everyone sees it happening, nobody does anything about it, so everyone just assumes like this is a normal thing. You know?
Yeah, they have to put their hands in your grandmother's pants, right? And like just for, to protect you. Like, what? I mean, this is.
Dude, I saw
we've
them
been
pull
living in
aside,
clown world my whole life. It seems like.
Yeah, I saw them pull aside a couple with a baby, and they were like spraying stuff. Dude, it was like, what the fuck, man?
Jeez. Yeah, it's.
Well,
That's
that's
why I don't
why I
like that, man.
recommend just avoiding them if possible. I mean, but like, I don't want to be cut off from the world, right? So,
Yeah.
now maybe you could, if you were rich enough, you could do like private flights.
What about
And
like the
bypass
clear?
that.
What about like the clear past the TSA thing? Like,
You got to give
yourself
them all
to
that info.
That's
Yeah,
called
subject-
the pre-abuse program, where
Right.
you can get
You
like,
get it all out of
digitally
the way.
violated ahead of time
Right.
before your
Yeah.
flight.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
they've
And then
already
they
got
still
your
reserve
info,
the right to grab your balls if they look worthy.
Yeah.
There's global entry and there's TSA pre-check, and I haven't done those things, but I should. I probably fly 4 times a year or something like that.
I think you give them your social media passwords, a stool sample. What else is
Mhm.
included, Kyle?
Your firstborn.
I don't know. I think money is the main motivator behind that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
technically, you're supposed to be able to fly without any ID at all. Like, there's no like the whole like super security apparatus on domestic. I believe you can still do it. They might
I've never
like
heard
put
of
you in a
that.
room for 12 hours, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe if you're determined enough, you can fly
Man,
domestically.
you sound like the people that are
without
like,
ID.
well, the income tax isn't real, right? You don't have to pay that, right?
Granted, I've never done this. Just
I
I've
did it.
told this. Like
You flew with
I
no
do.
ID?
Yep.
No,
I
I'm pretty
accidentally.
sure.
I forgot
I'm
my
pretty sure
ID.
it's
I
true,
was in. This was like 2012. Or, I'm sorry. No. Sorry. This was 2001. It was right after. It was that Thanksgiving time, right after September 11th, and TSA was in full effect. I mean, they had already implemented all that shit, and I remember I forgot my ID. I was only a teenager at the time. I didn't even have a license or a driver's permit or anything like that. But I had like this little state issued ID just to get on the plane, but I forgot it. And in order to, and I was flying with just me. It was me and my cousin. We were flying down, and he forgot his itinerary, and I forgot my ID. And I was like 12. No, I was like 12 or 13, something like that. And they were like, I guess we got to let him on the plane. And they, because I had a ticket, and they're like, so they straight up like stripped me like in front of everybody, and I was a teenager, and like
What the fuck?
they made me unbuckle my pants, pull down my pants right below like dick level,
What the
and
fuck?
in front of everybody, they ran their hands all inside my my underwear, like all the way around my boxers, and then maybe pull my shirt all the way up, and they were like, dude, they were doing all this stuff in front of everybody.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I was like, this is not okay.
They're like, kids clear.
Yeah, kid's clear, and I got a huge raging boner.
You or the
I'm gonna go
The
jerk
TSA
off
guy.
in the bathroom, guys. Yeah, no, it was
That was a long
horrible.
time ago, though.
And they
Like
did it
that
in
was
front of everybody, like in
the
front
first-
of everybody, and I'm a minor. They didn't take
first
you behind
3
a
months
screen.
of their
It
operation.
was like that,
I'm
but my
sure.
pants were down. My pants were down, and he was doing that.
Now I don't know if you get up to them and they say, ID and ticket, and you say I don't have an ID. I don't know what happens, but I'm guessing you don't go through.
They
mean-
don't go through. The guy it happened in front of me when I was on my way to Reno. It happened. They do not. They like the guy said, "You're not allowed to come through security. You can't come through security. You can't go." And then she was laughing about it. She's like, "This guy thinks he can board a plane without no stupid or without no license. How you can't do that? You gotta have ID." And like he was going off about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
global.
Craig says that global entry and pre-check is fine, minimal privacy sacrifice, but Clear was a tool they were using for COVID contact tracing and jab mandate to fly if it ever passed.
Pass. Seriously. I mean, I understand, like if you're going to fly outside, like over oceans and stuff, what are you going to do? Take a boat? I mean, take a private charter flight. I mean,
Helicopter.
Jesus.
Can a helicopter make it to Hawaii? Probably not, right?
Unlikely.
Oh, Babs, I know you wanted to mention the passing of Michael Ben-Eric.
Oh yeah, rest in peace. Like I don't know how he died, but I was saddened to hear the news. Did you guys?
He died
hear
on
any
August
details?
11th, 2022. But he was the 2004 Libertarian presidential candidate. I never got a chance to.
Says
meet
he
him.
died from heart failure at his home in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah,
That's
I took his, and I think Babs, you took his book, Good to Be King. It's,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gave a whole class on the Constitution, and when you brought up like, oh yeah, I think you could travel the world without an ID, or you could travel without an ID. I remember it just goes through the entire Constitution. There's people that are ballsy, like sovereign citizens, that are like, you know what, fuck it, I am not registering my car. And there was a whole chapter in there that are like basically registering your vehicles unconstitutional, and this person just registered with a VIN number. Yeah, got a lot of flack and probably had to fight the man, but pulled it off. But yeah, it was in the
That
book.
was cool.
So, yeah, Michael Ben-Eric gave that whole class and just kind of broke it down of real world situations of people just sticking to their guns. So yeah,
when I met
Michael
Michael,
Ben-Eric was radical.
Yeah, when I met him, he had like a manuscript version of this. It was like printed at Kinko's, like version. And this was before the nomination to the LP, and he'd come around like the Montgomery County Libertarians or whatever, and anyway, we got like a last minute notice that like he was on tour, like somebody was driving him around in a car, like all over the country. He's like, hey, we're going to be in the area. So we're like, we put together a meeting in a brewery, and he came out, and I was a fan, from that point on. And that was, later we had guys like Aaron Russo, that was like that time period. And but anyway, then he won the nomination, and then he did all kinds of stuff with us in Pennsylvania over the years, both before the nomination, after he got the nomination, like when he was doing his Constitution class. Like,
Yeah, I drove up to Harrisburg one time for that all day. And but that was after he ran. But when he was running, my brother and I think my dad met him they had like 100-some people meet up at a Denny's in Reading, and he came.
Like, what the fuck is up, Denny's?
He's like, what the fuck? Michael Ben-Eric, presidential candidate. The fuck's up, Denny's in Reading?
I remember his speech at I guess it was the Atlanta convention, right? The LP convention. Aaron Russo. There was another guy, drawing a blank on one of the other guys' names, but there were more popular candidates than him. But he was kind of like the one that everyone could agree on, because like the bigger guys had been feuding and like couldn't agree to like support the other, but they were both willing to support Michael Ben-Eric. But like he had nothing. He had no resources, but he was a pretty good, he had some really good libertarian rhetoric, and he had hardcore libertarian sound bites,
It was like the last base libertarian presidential candidate.
Yeah, and he delivered. He delivered on strong, especially on self-defense, and like it was just perfect to like set him loose on self-defense issues, stuff like that. It just he really put his heart and soul into it. So it's a real loss, I think.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, and there was a cool band. I think the first time I heard about him, I would honestly, it had to have been this band called First Blood. They played his whole like, what are you gonna do? That famous speech, his YouTube speech, like, what are you gonna do when they come for all your property? And like, what are you gonna do? When is it time for you to fight back? That little speech he has, it's on YouTube.
First Blood had that speech in it.
First Blood had that speech in there.
Shit.
back in like
Find it.
2011. That's when I first
Really?
heard about him. Yeah.
We got to find that.
And that's why, like, they're pretty dope. And the First Blood, I love First Blood, man. They're the band's fucking rocks, but they don't get a lot of credit, I think, because they went hard against the government during Obama years. And if they just released the album a few years prior when Obama was in office, it would have been cool. But like, or when Bush was in office, but since Obama was in, like, no one really cared about what they had to say in the punk and hardcore scene. Whatever. I like it's Carl's the lead singer. He's dope. I messaged out to him one time. We had talked about playing different songs at the end of the podcast, and I reached out to him, and I think Matt was like worried about us getting taken down and asking for permission or whatever. So I messaged. I was like, "Hey man, I might use your music on for like one of our episodes where it's my turn to pick." And he was like, and I was like, "Is that cool?" And he's like, "Yo, hell yeah, man! If you guys are still playing my music, and that's great with me." I'm like, "No problem." So that was cool. I got to reach out to him. But anyway, I guess it's about it for tonight. God, man,
We got after hours.
Bye.
We got some topics for after hours.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
We got a cool new follower on Instagram that I think you guys would like to hear about.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, big name, big time.
man.
I literally double taked on this one. I was like, holy shit! I messaged you guys immediately when I saw it come through, but
Message us a
save that
picture
for
of his
after.
boner.
yes, it was very small, so you couldn't see it, but it was
Oh.
there. I promise.
I had a magnifying glass.
Anywho, but thanks for checking us out, guys, and really appreciate it. Please go over to our YouTube, like and subscribe, and do all the simple stuff. Introduction to the Constitution with Michael.
Yeah, you got the
Batner.
book, you got the DVD.
Hell yeah,
$120.
$120. That ain't bad at all. Shit.
Dude, it was
Yeah,
a
just
great
posted
class.
this PDF. I just dug it up. Yeah, this was a like a flyer I made for Michael. Like whenever we do these things, like yeah, it's like a just an ad. Yeah, selling his book, a 6 DVD set, and a
6
2-hour
DVDs.
mini course for $120.
I think this is where this video came from that I was talking about before in the First Blood played. I think that's where that came from.
We'll,
but no,
we'll
that's
dig
cool.
up the docs for the after hours.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll
But
check it out.
yeah, so please follow us on Instagram. Dude, I put like some of the dankest memes on our Instagram, and we're 500 people short away from 20,000 followers. So please like us on Instagram, follow us at Punk Rock Liberty on Twitter, and also we got t-shirts for sale over at libertariancountry.com. If you use the code PRL or PRL Podcast, you get a 10% discount. If you spend $50 or more, use a 20%. You get a 20% discount with the code PRL2. Also, PRLfans.com. That's plenty of other ways to donate to the show. If you guys don't like using Patreon for our After Hours podcast, which we're going to record right after this, we're going to talk about all sorts of fun and embarrassing things, I guess. I got an embarrassing story to tell.
Wow.
So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, it's just like the original show, but it's a lot more fun. And
Yeah.
guess that's about it. So
Oh,
until
also, leave us reviews on iTunes,
yes,
and Spotify, and everywhere else that has reviews.
yes, please. You can say
Even if
whatever
it's a
horrible
shitty
thing-
review. If you give us a 1-star review, we'll read it on the show.
No. You
No,
give us a
of
5-star
course,
review.
5-star review. If you give us
and then you can say something really horrible and mean.
Yeah,
about
just
me,
say
and
5
then we'll read that.
stars. This is the worst thing I've ever heard. My
Yes.
ears are bleeding. I
that's a
have
good deal. Give us
monkeypox now.
5 stars, but then say something like
Yeah,
like
say
give us
something
your
funny.
your criticism, and then we'll read it.
Right.
Mhm.
Reflect
Worst
upon it
podcast
live.
ever.
All right. Well, you guys do that, and we're gonna record that podcast after this, and so yeah, there's that. Until next time, live free.
Or die.